13 and a half years ago, I was in my home on a Tuesday evening, and I got a call from my mom, Emily's grandmother, and she said Emily's been in an accident. She was hit by a car coming home from a friend of hers, and she's being airlifted to Primary Children's Hospital as we speak. Stay tuned. That was the beginning of Emily's path. And it's been quite a path. It's involved several brain surgeries, lots of therapy, and many successes. She graduated from Brigham Young University with her undergraduate degree, and then graduated with her graduate degree, and I have to write it down so I can make sure that I say it right. Her graduate degree was in writing for children and young adults. Since then, she has written three books which have been published, all for young adults. The latest one is a memoir that is called All Better Now. This is her latest one, and I said to her mother, who is also here today to run the session, I said, so is this really the picture that came home in a little packet of pictures that comes home from school? And she said, yep, it really is. So I'm sure that if you can't see it because it's too far away, you'll be able to see the picture in the book. Anyway, I would like to say that Emily's many, many successes in life were completely and totally due to her Aunt Kay, but I guess I'm going to have to turn all of her successes over to her and the hard work that she has done, as well as to her parents and her great faith. And with that, I will turn the time over to Marty.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so for those of you who, the picture that Kay was talking about is right up here front row center because, yeah, this is the beautiful cover of the book that I said. They said, do you have any ideas for the cover or any pictures that we might include in your book? This was published by Penguin. It just came out in March, so just a couple months ago. And I said, well, I don't know really anything for the cover, but if you want to include some pictures, I have a great one. And they did include it on the cover, yeah, because this was my first grade school picture. So yes, like I said, I'm Emily Wing Smith, and I am primarily a writer. This is my first time actually speaking at a brain injury awareness group. Generally speaking, I am at writing groups, and I speak at conferences for young adult writing or writing for children and teens. And I thought, the interesting thing is, someone said, oh, well, are you nervous about speaking in front of a different kind of audience? And I said, no, because writers are my people, but these are my people too, because I live with a traumatic brain injury, and so I'm excited just to speak to more of my people in a different group. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. Let's see, so let's do. There we go, okay. This is me growing up. Like I said, I was always a little bit of an interesting girl. I guess I'll start by talking a little bit about what my Aunt Kay was talking about, my story. And it begins with my editor saying that because I've written 2 young adult books before this, and then this is my 3rd young adult memoir, she had said, why don't you write a memoir? And I said, because I write young adult fiction, because I am not famous, because I don't think anyone would want to hear my story. Like, there are actually several reasons why I haven't written a memoir. I think the question would be, there actually is no question, Julie. What do you mean, why have I not written a memoir? She said, well, would you ever consider it? And I said, well, why would you even ask that? She said, because I have read I read something that you've written on your blog, and in it I had written about why I don't blog more frequently than I do, and it's because I have a traumatic brain injury, which not a lot of people know about, because it's completely invisible, right? Like, I have kind of a shaky bad hand, and that's sometimes visible. I have a little bit of a scar, and that's sometimes visible, but for the most part, it's invisible. And that's what I want to talk about as my message today, making the invisible, knowing that it's visible to us and that that's okay and that that's how we can help one another. And I think this was the perfect picture to me to show about my invisible disability. This was before I had gotten my traumatic brain injury, but I already had a brain injury. The difference being that I had a brain tumor that had been growing since I was probably very, very small, probably even before this picture was taken. And nobody knew about it, and everybody thought, you're just a little bit of an odd girl. And so we didn't find out about it until the accident that was referred to earlier. And by the time we removed the tumor due to the accident, it was about grapefruit size. So I only found out that I had this grapefruit-sized tumor that needed to be removed, this brain injury, through a traumatic brain injury, which was getting hit by a car. And that was the story that Julie wanted me to share. And since that time, I have really been blessed to share my story with everybody. And I knew that it would relate to people because it has a fairly general feeling that you can be able to relate to part of it, no matter who you are or what you've been doing. But I'm very surprised by how many people with brain injuries have reached out to me and said, thank you for sharing the pain that we go through, that people don't acknowledge because they don't know that it exists. And sometimes they just think, I'm the weird girl. And thank you for letting me know that it's okay to be the weird girl, and that, or guy, or anyone, right? And that I'm lovable, and that I can have a great life, no matter who I am. And I was just thrilled because I realized this book has made not just the weird girls growing up feel like they have a voice, but everyone who has ever felt different. So I've been very lucky about that. Got it. This is me. So I had always been a little clumsy. I had always been a little awkward. We now know it's because of the tumor. We did not know that at the time. At the time, we just thought I was clumsy and awkward. I was walking home from a shopping trip with a friend. I crossed the street, and I got hit by a car. I don't remember what exactly happened. I was unconscious at the time, and I don't have any short-term memory of what happened. But as you can see, I got hit, and it's cleared up pretty nicely, but I still have that scar. But it's more or less just another part of my invisible disability. And that is when the tumor was discovered. And the doctor said, is there a reason that you haven't taken out this grapefruit-sized brain tumor? And is there something we don't know about? Is it inoperable? And my parents, I would assume, just said the reason is we didn't know about it. So this is that I was having my tumor resected. And so now I have double brain injury, right? Because I've had the traumatic brain injury that has happened when I've hit the hood of a car, and I've had the non-traumatic brain injury, but brain injury nonetheless, and having my tumor fully removed from my cerebellum. So this is me when I get out. So looking pretty good, right? This is only a few months after graduating from 6th grade, but you can't see that the reason I'm wearing a hat is because I've had multiple surgeries, one across here from my frontal head injury and one back from my cerebellar head injury. But nobody knows that. And I'm about to start junior high, where I'm no longer the thank God she got hit by a car girl, which is what everybody has called me up to this point because they know my story. But I'm not that anymore because now the new kids don't know. And I'm just Emily, the weird girl. Nobody knows that the reason for bad hand being so shaky is because of my tumor. And no one knows that the reason I can't read or study for long periods of time without getting tired is because I have a frontal head injury. And who can relate to that? People not knowing why you are acting the way you're acting. So that was a rough road for me. Let's see this next one. Here's me in a few years after that. Want to make sure I don't go over time. And again, looking completely normal, right? I was a very high-strung kid before this, and that's part of what I share in my memoir, that before I was very goal-oriented. I knew exactly what I wanted, which was to be a writer, which I have done, but I wasn't quite ready for the change to the persona that I saw with myself of the smart girl who was very good at everything academic. Because before, I had been clumsy and bad at sports, and I just didn't adopt that as part of myself. I was like, well, I'm clumsy and I'm bad at sports, but I'm smart, so I've got something going for me. It's like, that's okay. I'm a nerd, but who cares? Because I've got that going for me. Now I felt like I had nothing going for me. My hair had grown back a little bit over I no longer had to wear a hat, but I also didn't have my reading speed. I could write, but I didn't have back use of my right hand, so I could type, but it was one-handed. And I could walk around and do stuff, but if I tried to do anything with any kind of amount of dexterity, no. I slept probably 12 to 14 hours a day, and nobody really got me at my school. Nobody said, it's okay because you have a brain injury. And I always felt weird and different, the same way that I had growing up, even though now the tumor was gone and I was supposed to be all better now. And now my scar was gone, so I was supposed to be all better now. So now I didn't have an excuse, because why was I not now it had been several years since the accident. So why was I not all better? And nobody really understood that either, because I had been going back to school. I could walk. I was doing the normal things that normal people do. You're fine, right? Why are you sleeping so much? Why can't you ride a bike? These were questions that nobody could understand, because we didn't. I don't think we had the connection that we have now, that we're getting more and more each day. Fostering, this is what a brain injury looks like. It's going to be different for everyone, because no two are alike. There's individual as a fingerprint, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that someone is just faking it or using an excuse. This is me graduating from high school. I was able to graduate be able to do a full college prep load. I graduated with honors and was able to attend the college of my choice. This was something that I had always known that it was possible, but I had always worried about it. And I had always worried that I wouldn't be the smart girl that I had wanted to be. And so this was a huge accomplishment for me. Another thing, reason I included this is because they included this picture on the back cover of the book, and I said, I didn't really want that image, I don't know why you chose this one, but apparently it's a big deal to graduate from high school, so maybe I'll include it. And then this is the last one that I wanted to share, because the man in the middle is my husband, Daniel. We've been married for almost 14 years. And when we caregivers being the nucleus of, this association is the nucleus of hope, but that it's our relationships that really make it. I always say my life is not just enriched by my relationship with Daniel, my husband, it's made possible. My deficits and my shortcomings are filled perfectly by him, and he doesn't see them as deficits and shortcomings. And I know that's not a unique thing among caregivers, and I think that's an incredible part of the journey that I realized. So there are so many caregivers who make up for what I might be lacking, and they don't even feel like it's making up for something that's lacking. So kudos to all of you who are making the relationship, who are making the relationship complete with the brain injured person with brain injury in your life, because that's an amazing thing. And I feel blessed every day by the relationship that I have with my husband who takes over for me. So thank you. I am able to live my life typing one-handed, and I am able to complete books. I am able to get the 11 to 12 hours of sleep I need a night, which I now know is very common for brain injury sufferers, and does not mean that I am not recovering or not getting all better. This woman is my mother, who will be speaking about raising a child with a pediatric brain injury today, and I would encourage if you're interested to go listen to her, because she is a delight, and also will be able to share ideas with those of you who are in that caregiver role. I am here today because of these people and others, and of course my Aunt Kay. But I'm so grateful to be able to address this audience. I encourage you too that if you'd like to talk more, or are interested in hearing more of my story, or are possibly interested in purchasing my book or at least reading it, please contact me. I have bookmarks, and I am primarily a writer, and that is my profession. So I would love to talk to you more about that, or answer any questions that you might have, or just talk to you if you would like listening ear from someone who's been there, and someone who I hope can help you feel all better now on your own terms too. Thank you.